Hey everybody, Coach Collard here today. Ryan, my partner's behind the camera and filming things, and we're here to bring you some information around nothing is ever what it seems. It's Monday. Actually, when you're watching this, it'll be Tuesday. But what we're looking at bringing you today is the idea of nothing is ever what it seems in real estate and how it applies to you, the consumer. So we're going to talk specifically around short sales, around foreclosures, around extensions, and around a lot of the media and what's going on with the media in the last, I don't know, say 6 weeks, but specifically the last 2 weeks. There's been a lot of stuff happening and people just jumping to conclusions and everything. So I want to address that. So basically, let's identify where we're at in society right now. In the year 2010 right now, the world has basically become flat again. Even though it is round, it's figuratively flat. And what I mean by that is that because of telecommunications, because of the internet, because of the lightning speed of information exchange, what happens in China right now is known to us here, even though it's on the other side of the world. What happens in another country, what happens in Washington, D.C., travels around the world like 16 times in a split second now. So it's very hard to interpret simply what goes on in the news, particularly around real estate, simply because we don't know how good our sources are where we're receiving the information, and sometimes stuff can be misinterpreted. We know that happens every day on the short sale level with Ryan and I here at Arizona Short Sale TV. So let me talk specifically around it. What's been going on recently is there's been a lot of REO lenders and REO bank-owned real estate agents that have been talking about, well, the lenders are going to start foreclosing and they're not going to extend short sales and they're not going to do this and not going to do that, as if it's a hard and fast rule. And I'm going to challenge that might be a hard and fast rule, but it's going to have a ton of exceptions. So what I want you, the consumer, to know is that when you work with somebody like ArizonaShortSaleTV.com, we're going to empower our process and empower you, and we're going to work through no's. We're basically not going to listen to we don't extend. And we're going to get stuff extended as necessary at the highest level that we can. Now, certainly, we can't do everything 100%, but we're going to work at it really hard, and we're not going to be moved by what we heard on the street. It's a very dangerous thing that if you're working with a real estate agent that's moved by what they hear on the streets, that it's probably not real, and then in turn, it there disempowers you because they're acting from a disempowered place of, I heard something. And we know with just the way things are, you can do a Google search and search up a topic, and you can find 3 different scenarios or 3 different answers for a particular question or concern about something. Who's the right source? Who do you listen to? How do you know what the truth is? Well, I'm going to challenge that you don't. All you can do is empower your thinking and make better decisions through the volatility and the uncertainty. So let's get into some details. Recently, there was a robo-signing scandal, supposedly, and if you read inmannews.com, that's one of the supposed better sources of all real estate information. Well, just because they provide more information doesn't mean that they're more accurate. They're only reporting what people talk about. Okay, so just like our buddy Mark Brendamone from a month and a half ago said on the streets, he said, I'm only as good as the newspaper reports. Well, same thing for Inman News or anybody else. They're only as good as the information being reported. So if it's misinterpreted from the source, or mistranslated, or miswritten, or whatever, or maybe heard second or third hand and then it's reported, it comes out distorted. So we got to know that. What I mean with the robo-signing thing is the whole idea of the scandal was that we've had people come to us here in Arizona, which is a non-judicial state, and say, oh, they're going to stop all the foreclosures. And we said, well, no, based on what we've read, our interpretation is that it's only going to happen in the 23 judicial-oriented states, meaning that they handle the trustee or foreclosure sales through a judicial court process rather than a trustee sale process like here in Arizona. What happens is customers get all excited and they say, oh, there's going to be extensions and everybody's going to get a timeout, if you will, before they go to sale. And it's not true. It's only supposedly in 23 states that are judicial. At the same time, the reports are, not saying it's fact, the reports are JP Morgan Chase, Bank of America, GMAC, and I forget who the other big one is, but there's 4 primary ones that are supposedly making that happen. Then it comes out on Friday, this past Friday, that B of A or Bank of America supposedly says that we're going to halt foreclosure sales in all 50 states pending further investigation. Now, I'm not saying it's not true, but I'm not going to say it's true just because somebody reported it. Okay. The day before that, I was in a meeting here locally with an AVP from Bank of America, and we were discussing things. And he didn't. I mean, he had more than plenty of opportunities to share something significant like that, to kind of let us know and to create a lesser margin of error for malinterpretation. And he didn't even mention it. And believe me, he had the opportunity to mention it. We asked him similar questions to that. So I'm going to challenge that nothing is ever what it seems when it comes to that. So don't jump on the train to say, oh, this is going on, and blanket it across the United States. Our laws in different states are different, per state, obviously, and the way the process works is completely different in every state, and you just got to be aware of that. It doesn't apply blanket across the board. So, that's one opportunity. Let's discuss some other conversations. People are concerned about the holidays coming up. And anytime the holidays come up, people are like, what's going to happen with trustee sales? Is it going to change? Well, historically, and by historically, I mean in the last 12 months, particularly last year, we had a lot of our resources and a lot of our team here on the ArizonaShortSaleTV.com buying at trustee sales. And during the time of Thanksgiving and Christmas, about a week or two out, they started seeing trustee sales getting extended automatically, and they weren't able to bid on as many properties. Now, am I saying that that's going to happen this year? I'm in no way saying that's going to happen this year. I'm saying we saw the numbers shift last year, and we interpreted that that's what was going on, possibly because of the holidays. Now, that's here in Arizona. Don't know that that's going to happen in other states. Don't know that it'll happen here in Arizona this year. The point is we've experienced it, and we see it, and we see patterns. But when we bring it up for empowered information, not to say this is going to happen or this is going to happen. We just don't know, and it's really important for you guys to know that. So the key here at ArizonaShortSaleTV.com, every time you come to us, we're gonna talk mindset more than anything, and we're gonna talk about empowerment. It's important for you all as consumers, sellers, buyers, investors, whoever you are out there, you've got to have empowered thought processes to interpret information, not as right and wrong, but as good or bad, and where does it fit in your process. And I'm not saying bad information is always going to be excluded for you. Sometimes you need to know that information so that you can make a more empowered decision. I think I'm clear on that. Are we clear on it? Nothing is ever what it seems. The market's volatile. The information's exchanging 100,000 miles an hour. And some of the supposed, quote unquote, best industry resources are reporting information, misinformation, misinterpreted information, mistranslated information. They might spell things wrong. I mean, I'm going to use the last example and we'll wrap it up here. The most recent huge, ginormous example is all the media of all types, all media outlets, internet, TV, radio, everything. They misinterpreted what happened in 2007 as a subprime meltdown. Well, it's because they didn't know any better. Anything that wasn't considered prime or AAA credit paper, they considered it subprime. Well, that was actually false. If they were in the industry, if they knew anything about the industry, they would have reported that it was an Alt-A mortgage meltdown, not a subprime meltdown. Now, the subprime companies were affected and they melted down too, but it was caused by the Alt-A products, which were Wall Street products, which were 80-20 type products, and they were very, very portfolio niche oriented that Wall Street created. And when Wall Street stopped buying those, it caused the meltdown everywhere because so many people had loaned out that money and had those on their portfolios. But little things like that, I want to encourage you guys. Get empowered, get with us. If you have questions around this, reach out to us. We'd love to answer your questions. If you send us a question through our video blog here, we'll respond in like kind with a video blog answer for you. We look forward to helping. It's ArizonaShortSaleTV.com shutting down. See you.